YouTube, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you at, good whatever, right? I'm just very, very blessed and thankful to be back on track. I love doing these videos, man. I absolutely love and then look forward to, spitting what I've been writing and, getting into how I feel. I absolutely love the comments, even though it's few and far between right now, because I guess after my week off, the algorithm kind of just said, yeah, you got to earn your spot back into getting into many people's rotations, which is fine. But I took that time off because I really needed it. And in the true version of myself, I'm always gonna put me first. And I love the subscribers that I got, each and every one of you, all 941 of you and counting. Got love for every single one of y'all. But when life happens, you have to take that time for yourself and you have to do what's most important. And last week, my family was most important, being there for them, being that support and show for them, after Nana passed on. But now that I'm back, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not well. It truly sits here and take a big man and a real man to sit in front of you guys and to let the world know I'm not okay. Um, get the help that you need. I know for me, I love going into the gym because that's the one time to where I just get to really think clearly. I get a chance to just look forward to a future that maybe God has for me. And if he doesn't and it's his way, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. But that's the only time I can properly go in there and actually think about my Nana in a positive way. Absolutely just breathe. And I know most people like to go into the gym 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it takes me 90 minutes. Sometimes it takes me 2 hours. I can't really help that because I'm gonna get into work, and sometimes when I take a little rest, I need to breathe, I need to think, I need to process. Sometimes I gotta wipe my tears. Sometimes I just have to get out of that zone of where, life sucks right now, life hurts. Loss and death and grievance, it's something huge, and sometimes we're put through these tests just to ensure that we're ready for the next levels of our life. And I firmly believe that, it's a new devil on each level. So, God ain't gonna take you to something if he couldn't get you through it. And I think with everything that I'm going through right now, I really truly feel deep down that he's preparing me for something greater. He's preparing me for something that's more aligned in what he wants me to do. And for the longest, I would always try to fight that. I would always try to, no, this is the way I want to do it. And then, going through life, you got to realize you're not in control of anything. You're only in control of your actions, your words, your thoughts, and yourself. So with me coming to grips with that, with me finally realizing that no matter how much money I had, I still couldn't save my Nana. No matter how much I've grown internally, no matter how much I've grown mentally, spiritually, and how much I've matured, I can't rewind the hands of time and fix anything. And, that's life. You learn these things after the fact. But the thing is that you learn it, and once you learn it, you got to apply it and keep moving forward because that's really all we can do. And I truly feel that, on this journey, when those of you who do take it serious, you're going to experience these things. You're going to experience loss. You're going to experience a new identity within yourself. I know one of my friends was just like, man, the level of discipline you got when it comes to this, because you sat at this restaurant yesterday, you ain't eat none of that goofy shit. I was like, bro, my taste buds ain't even the same. Like if I want to eat bad, I don't even call it eating bad. I just go over my calories a little bit. Like I'll completely adjust some shit just so I can have more healthier foods. That's why I love that Apple Watch, man. I didn't realize like how active I truly was. And it gave me my stats from a year ago to now. It's like a year ago, I was barely taking 3,000 steps a day. Now they fast forward, it's like, hey, for the last year now, you've been walking like a dog. You've been doing a lot of things. So I look at it, average steps, but like in 2025, before, I started my journey in July last year, August 19th of last year. It's like, dang, I was only taking 3,000 steps a day. And now on average, I'm averaging 12,040. I was like, geez, Louise. And I really didn't realize how active I was. But one thing I did pride myself on now is like, I don't want to be lazy no more. So granted, the gym is 0.34 miles away from my house. Instead of fucking just getting in my car like I used to, and I was a fat motherfucker, get in the car and just drive to the gym and drive back. It's like, dude, get your steps in and just fucking walk. You walk to the gym in Poland. So, and that was a mile. So you walk your mile to the gym, get in a good ass workout, get on the treadmill uphill for 30 minutes, and then walk another mile back. Oh, and guess what? When I shower and do all that other shit, I'm still walking around my crib. I'm still cooking. I'm doing small things. And then I got to walk another mile to my job because the job was right behind the gym I went to. So then during the day, I'm up and I'm walking around. And then guess what? During lunch, I'm walking with my homeboys. I'm walking with my coworkers. Then I got to walk another mile back to the house whenever I'm done for the day. So getting my steps in Europe was so easy because you didn't need to drive anywhere unless you had an intentional place to go. That's why I love Europe so much. Everything is close by. The food is fucking pure. It's like I literally could eat. I can go to a pasta joint and they had a lot of pure, just amazing carbonara. I just take mine without the pork. Like, don't put no bacon, no pork juice, none of that shit in there. I used to go there so much they already knew my order. Carbonara, no pancetta, no pork, just the egg and the Parmesan. That is it. So I would go and they would see it. Even on my cheap meals, I would get like 2 servings of that and still step on the scale the next day and then go up a pound. Not only did I control my macros and my calories throughout the week, but I worked out like a dog. Like, people don't think working out have anything to do. Nutrition is important, but how active you are is just as important. If you getting up and you walking, you getting up and you lifting those weights, you know, you drinking water, you doing the things you need to do, guys, it ain't gonna be as hard as you think. It's really not, because once it becomes habit, once it becomes so consistent, your body already know what it's gonna do. It's like, okay, well, we know Sean finna get up and hit at least 10,000 steps today. Let me see what today is. Wednesday. We know Sean got to do arms and shoulders. Oh, it's Tuesday. Sean doing legs. It's Monday. Sean doing back. Oh, it's Sunday. He finna go golf and he gonna walk a whole bunch. Oh, it's Saturday. He finna do chest and shoulders. Oh, it's Friday. He finna do hamstrings and back. My body already know what to expect. That simple. And it's not even like me to miss any of that because I actually look forward to the shit. I want to see how much stronger I got. Now that I am intaking a little bit more carbs, my lifts are so much better. My lifts are stronger. I'm actually able to push heavier and harder. So, and I love it. And then it's like, when I do feel the urge, I just take off these big old oversized shirts or a hoodie that I'm wearing. I'm in my tank top. And it's like, damn, you know, everything looks bigger. Everything looks better. And it's just because now I got definition, it just looks way better. So I have to stop and admire that sometimes, because this time last year, I looked nothing like how I look now. If I were to show y'all a picture of what I looked like August 1st of last year, you'd be like, that wasn't you. 2 different fucking people, 2 completely different people. Once I figure out how to do an overlay on this thing, I'm gonna show you, like, that was me, this is me now. It's crazy. And I didn't even realize how far I had come, because the goal line, I keep moving the goal line, because when I get to this weight, I don't look the way I want to look. And that's what a lot of you guys do. When I get 220, I'm gonna be shredded. Well, shit. Well, I'm gonna get to 210, I'm gonna be shredded. Damn, I'm gonna hit 200, I'm gonna look good. You always got a lot more to lose than what you think. I already know my sweet spot gonna be 180. And if I don't look where I wanna look at 180, 185, then so be it. I'm still gonna look good, but it's time to reverse back up and put on some heavy muscle. Not too much to where it's hurting my back and I can't do anything. I legit wanna be at a solid 200 to 205, just heavier, just bigger, right? And because I'm so tall, well, not so tall, I ain't trying to talk like I'm 6'8", 6'9", but because I'm taller than the average male, I'm gonna carry it well. You know, I could have got away with carrying my fat well if it wouldn't have hit my face and my stomach and my chest and my neck. You know what I mean? I could have carried it well if it didn't. But nah, it didn't, because at that point, I was walking around here looking like Sherman Klump and ain't nobody tell me. You know what I mean? But it's okay. Going from Sherman Klump to motherfucking Apollo Creed is even better, because now I know what I can do. Now I have the confidence to walk into any restaurant, any room, any place, not say a word, but still command respect and attention. And I don't even care for the attention. I just care about the respect, because I'm always going to give my respect first. So if you disrespect me after that, you intentionally want a problem with me. And that's not what I'm here for, you know, but I'm still going to choose war over peace. That nice guy shit is gone. That nice guy shit died with that fat motherfucker who used to always, you know, say yes, always people please, always inconvenience himself for the sake of others. Unfortunately, I'm not that guy anymore. So, well, unfortunately for most people, but fortunately for me, I'm not that guy no more. I'm just pulling up my my journal entry because this one is going to be a little this one's gonna be a little bit deeper than most because I think once when people, I don't really care to talk about weight loss that much no more because to me that's the easy part. It really is. It's just consistency. It's just watching what you eat, how much you eat, getting off your ass, working out, sleeping right. That's it. Sleep, eat right, gym. You do that consistently for 6 months, it'll change your fucking life. You will have room to eat a little bit more sometimes. You'll have room to fuck up a little bit more. Guys, I posted a picture with my son today, and we know he took me to Brookshire just to get a few things from the grocery store. And you know, I wore a fitted black shirt, medium. That man said, God, I hate when you wear them fucking fitted shirts. Why, it look good, don't you? Well, low key, I don't care. You really don't? Well, you look good, man. Exactly. It be your own people, your own son, hating on you. But, you know, with him driving, you know, I posted that picture of him driving and me sitting passenger side. And don't get me wrong, I ain't want to make the picture about me, but it's hard not to see those fucking curled off delts. It's hard not to see the fucking tricep in the picture. And it's definitely hard just not to see you filling out the shirt. And going places, not once. I used to like pull it just to make sure, bro, I ain't even doing that. I don't even give a fuck, honestly. I'd be like, so what? I got a little water weight at the bottom. That's where glycogen and water goes to hold on to last. And I still look better than half the motherfuckers who I seen walking by because I wasn't looking crazy. So I was like, man, whatever. But you know, when people walk by you and they admire, they stare, but they try to look away when you look back, that's a good feeling. And then you just look and just smile and just keep it moving. You know what I mean? But with that being said, nobody prepared me for the loneliness of becoming somebody new. That's why I said I don't really want to talk about losing weight right now because that's the easy part. The emotional and the mental part is where I feel like the fitness industry don't hit on enough, right? It's easy to take off your shirt on social media and give somebody a plan. But if you're not giving them the books to read or the books that's helped you or you can recommend, if you're not giving them the books to read, encouraging them to journal, you know, giving them that push like Luther did for me, you know, like that's one thing I learned big time from Luther. He was like, hey man, these are some books you need to start reading and you need to start journaling. Because the physical gonna happen. It's like, I know, you know, you gonna lock in physically because you already got momentum, but your mental gotta catch up. And once your mental catch up, you'll be just fine. Like, what you mean by that? You need to start moving around now. Like, once I hit like once I hit like 18, 17, 16%, he said, you need to go ahead and start acting like you 10%. You need to go ahead and start moving and thinking and speaking like you 10%. And when I made that transition, life got way better because it made me want to go to the gym even more. It made me, you know, be a little more cautious about how I engage in certain situations and engage with certain people. You know, I'm still a human though. I'm still catching up on certain things, but either way, you know, nobody prepared me for the loneliness of becoming someone new. Not because people leave, but because you stop fitting into the life that once fit you. So this ain't really a weight loss journal entry. It's an identity story, right? So nobody talks about this part. Everybody talks about losing the weight. Nobody talks about what happens when your life no longer fits the person you're becoming. I used to think the hardest part would be saying no to food. It wasn't. The hardest part was saying goodbye to the version of my life that only existed because of who I used to be. Because when you change, everything around you starts changing too. Conversations change, friendships change, priorities change, your weekends change, your mornings change. The things that used to make sense no longer make sense anymore. And for a while, you will feel homeless. Not because you ain't got nowhere to live, but because your soul doesn't know where it belongs yet. The old version of me doesn't fit anymore, but the new version of me still feels unfamiliar. So for a little while, you live in between. And that's a very fucking lonely place. People think transformation is exciting. Sometimes it is. Most times it's quiet. Sometimes it's sitting alone on a Friday night because you're protecting a goal nobody else can see. Sometimes it's eating differently while everyone else orders what they always order. Sometimes it's realizing you don't enjoy the same conversations anymore. Not because you're better than anyone, but because you've changed. And change has a price. I used to think loneliness meant nobody loved me. Now I think sometimes loneliness is simply the space between who you were and who you are becoming. It's uncomfortable because you don't belong in either world. The old habits don't fit, the new identity still feels awkward. So you spend months, sometimes years wondering where the fuck you belong. That part nobody claps for. Nobody posts about the nights where you're sitting there wondering if all this growth is worth how you feel. Nobody tells you that growth can make you feel isolated before you become fulfilled. And maybe that's why so many people quit. Not because they can't handle the work, but because they can't handle the distance between their old life and their new one. They go back because the old life was familiar, not because it was better, because it was known. There's a comfort in familiar misery. There's uncertainty in healthy change. But here's what I'm finally starting to understand. Maybe loneliness isn't proof you are on the wrong path. Maybe it's just proof. Proof that you've outgrown a life that no longer can hold you. Maybe the silence isn't punishment. Maybe it's room. Room for new habits, new friendships, new purpose, a new version of yourself. I've spent so much time mourning the people, the habits, and the life I had outgrown that I almost forgot to celebrate the man who's still here, still showing up, still growing, still choosing the harder road, still waking up and going to the gym, still watching what he eat, still doing his best he can to sleep good. And maybe that's what courage really is. Not changing, but staying committed. While the change still feels lonely, because one day this new life won't feel unfamiliar anymore. One day, this version of me won't feel like a stranger. He'll feel like home. And maybe that's what I've been searching for this whole time. Not perfection, not applause, not abs. Just home. You know, if becoming a better person has made you feel lonely, maybe you're not losing your place in the world. Maybe you're making room for the life that finally fits you. Right? So that's exactly how I feel. And I'm only going to write how I feel. And because that felt so real to me, I mean, I can share that with you guys. You know, a lot of my old habits, I don't really do no more. You know, I'm not getting high. You know, I'm not popping those gummies. I don't drink. You know, I don't really engage in negative shit no more, or negative talk. Like, I found out today from a buddy of mine. He was like, "Hey, I want you to come back and work with me. We can do some great things." And I was like, "All right, cool." You know, I don't ever get my hopes up. But then he tells me, "Hey, you know, company won't bring you back. You know, you ain't been gone for 2 years or some shit like that." I said, "Okay, that's fine. You're not upset?" Nah, bruh. What is it matter to be upset for? It's okay. Maybe this is God trying to protect me from people. Maybe this is God trying to protect me from myself or something. You know, maybe this doesn't fit me no more. That's a weird way to look at it. You know, I'm not into, spiritual beliefs. I'm like, look, that's your belief. But for me, I'm going to look at this as protection, and I'm okay with that. You know, we can still go golfing on Sunday. All right, cool, man. I'm going to see you there. Guys, my whole mentality didn't change because the old me would have took it personal. Oh, they don't what? They ain't trying to make an exception to the rule for me after all I used to do for them. Fuck them. Nah, man. I'm really past that. Okay, cool. You know, y'all gonna do what y'all do. I'm gonna do what I do. Neither one of us need each other. That's fine. You know, God got other plans for me. He really, truly do. And as soon as I find out what they are and where that alignment is, I'm gonna walk blindly by faith into it. You know what I mean? So yeah, some of the things that used to be me, it's weird that it's not me no more. You know, like I would always find myself trying to either perfect something or control it to where I feel like it should be right. I don't care to do none of that stuff no more. My big brother Joe always just said, stay the course. Don't let nothing anybody else do take you off of the path of being the best you that you can be for you and your children. I was like, damn. You know, so certain things don't really make me mad anymore. I mean, they'll frustrate me and I still have feelings. I'll hurt, I'll get angry. I feel these things, but I'll process it. And then I have to always think, what would the 10% version of me do? What would the version of me now would do versus the way Fat Sean used to handle the shit? That's what I call my other self, Fat Sean, because that's who people remember me as. That's who people, compare me to when they look at me now. It's like, oh man, I remember you used to be huge, man. What you do? What happened, man? What pills you taking? What you shooting? You do GLP-1? Man, you know what? The old me probably would have said some slick shit because I feel real disrespected right now, but I'm just gonna tell you I feel disrespected. Just because you can't fathom someone taking the long way and actually doing the hard work, that's on you. And I'm not gonna be upset at that. But what I will say is I went the long way and I worked my ass off and I'm still working my ass off every day. Oh man, that's crazy. All the technology in the world, you couldn't do this. Bro, that's the longest way to your goal is taking shortcuts. Straight up. And then when I'm 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, I don't know underlying health ailments because in my late 30s, I decided to stick some shit in my skin that, you know, took away some fat or whatever when all I had to do was just not be lazy, get up and move my body, eat right, you know, just watch how much I eat, you know, be active as hell, take every chance I can to move. You know, I look at my watch, I'm always seeing all these steps and it makes me happy, but it makes me even happier knowing that while I'm walking to the gym, it's like, I don't want to fucking do this shit today. But when I leave the gym, it's like, I'm glad I fucking did this shit today, you know, and it just becomes so routine that you fall in love with the process. And I'm very patient. You got to be patient on this journey because fat loss take a while. And what's going to be even more so the issue of requiring patience, your identity going to take a while to change too. You know, you can't handle, and I will put this out there, the average man cannot handle losing 130 pounds and not having his mental catch up. It's impossible because if you still got the mindset you had, if you still have the same mindset that you had at 315 pounds as you do at 196 or 195, you cooked. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, you cooked. Because you're still looking for that validation of other people. You're still looking for these other things that made you go get those expensive cars, that made you get all these other things just to make you feel good in somebody else's eyes. Motherfucker, I done dropped so much money trying to impress motherfuckers who probably don't even know me. That's the truth. We all do it. That's that whole saying of keeping up with the Joneses and shit. We literally go through all these different things for what? I don't care what people say or think about me no more. When I leave the house, I'm in a t-shirt, some joggers, and I don't even switch out my shoes like that. I've been wearing the same pair of Nike Dunks since I've been back. Or I wear my Nike shoes to the gym. Or when I go play golf, I wear those old-ass Travis Scotts. That's it. I ain't break out my Jordans. I ain't break out none of them shits because it don't matter no more. That new identity has already taught me you don't have to have any of those things because the way you look and the way you carry yourself, that's your outfit. That's your outfit. That's what it is. I used to be afraid to wear white t-shirts. I don't give a fuck no more. They just like, oh, I used to be afraid of wearing black t-shirts. I really don't give a fuck no more because my identity has shifted so far away from the old version of myself that I still get frustrated sometimes when things don't go my way. But I know that logically now my way is going to be better because I've already taken into account everything without emotion. But the old me was very emotionally charged, and I can admit that. And I can also admit that, you know, some things I didn't get right, and there's some things that I'm still trying to get right. But I always take that first step every day by believing in myself and keeping that promise to myself. You know, hey, you hit snooze, but you still got to go to the gym. Yeah, you damn right. Like tomorrow is Sunday. I know it's my rest day, but I don't believe in rest days. I believe in active rest days. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get up. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to walk 0.34 miles to the gym. I'm going to put that treadmill on, I think, 4.5 or 5. Put the put the speed on 2.7. And I'm going to hop on that thing for 45 minutes and I'm just going to go. Because I don't need to do cardio. I just need to move my body. You know, your body still needs to rest. Now, if I wanted my cardio, yeah, I'm hiking that thing up to 8, 10, or 12, and I'm going 3 miles per hour, you know, getting that heart rate above 130 or right at it just so I can get that. That's not what tomorrow's for. My old identity would have just been punishing myself. Nah, you ate a little bit too much yesterday. You did this too much yesterday. Nah, that's not what this is. Stay on plan, do what you gotta do. And that's simple. It's an active rest day. You're gonna go 4.5 to 5, and you're gonna do 2.7, and you're gonna put them headphones in. You're gonna listen to that whole Rick Ross album because it's dope as hell, Set in Stones. You're gonna listen to that whole T.I. album, Kill the King, because it's amazing. Or I'm gonna listen to that whole Dream album, Love, Hate, Too, and that's even sexier. You know, I don't really listen to myself no more. I don't. I listen to Luther still. I listen to a few other people, but I don't really listen to my own videos no more because I want to take a break from myself so I can give y'all fresh material every night, especially on how I'm feeling and everything that I'm giving you guys, because y'all can fucking relate. You can. I've had people, and this, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna say people, I just want to hype myself up a little bit, but it was one person who I don't know, who never commented on my shit. But when I went out to the golf range just to work on some swings, that man walked up to me and said, "You Sean Reed?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm Sean Reed. How do I know you, my man?" He was like, "I watch your YouTube every day." He was like, "I watch your YouTube every day because you say some shit that other people are afraid to say. And I really appreciate your message." He was like, "I'm not ready to lose weight yet." He was like, "I'm just not, I ain't got the discipline and I know it. But just listening to your videos really motivates me to when I'm ready, I'm going to do it." And he's like, "Man, you look amazing in person. Holy shit." I was like, "Man, look, I appreciate it. But whenever you're ready, just let me know. I'll be here to help you as much as I can." Man, dapped me up, gave me a little hug, and I went to my bed to hit my balls. Dead ass. So in the new version of my identity, I can appreciate that shit. My old identity wouldn't have been able to fathom, first off, even sitting in front of a camera to talk about anything, because I was so insecure and self-conscious about how I looked on camera. Fat as fuck, face huge. Now, face pretty fucking lean. You know, my shoulders pop, everything do what I need them to do. But back then, hell nah, man. You couldn't beat me in front of a camera, because I just knew how bad I looked. And if I had to take a picture, I used to always stand a certain way so I didn't look as fat, or I used to try to turn to another angle so I didn't look as big. But I'm not ashamed of that no more, because that's where I came from, and that's not where I'm going back. You know, I love the fact that I can be active and move. I love the fact, and I don't take it for granted. Guys, we get to wake up. We get to go to the gym. We get to pick what we eat. We get to walk around and breathe on our own without a machine. There's so many people in this world that would literally they would give anything to trade places with you for a day so they can do the things that we take for granted every fucking day of the week. So keep that in mind and remember that your body is a gift. Took me a while to get there, but remember that your body is a gift. Take care of it. And your mind and your spirit is just as precious as the outside. You have to take care of that too. But the only way you're gonna do that is by getting the help you need. You know, my description or my Calendly link is in the description. Reach out. Let's talk about this. Let's qualify you, see if you work with me, and we'll go from there. But other than that, don't play them fucking away games, guys.